Shop. Jay Kilroy here. After some time on the road, working, getting things done. Tax time's behind me. Hallelujah. Doing a little work, as you saw just a second ago, and as you're seeing right now, on the bushings. And I guess you would call it the pivot of the Untitled Rod Bender. You notice two parts. What can I say? We're going to get work done on the pivot, on the bushing, on the collar that goes around the bushing, and then the piece, the handle mount, I guess you'd say the handle, the bender portion, that's going to hook to the collar. It's going to be welded to the collar. So that's what we're working on today. So let's get with it.
All right, you decided to stop by after I had already bored the interior of this bushing, and now I'm mounting it up in the lathe, and we're going to face it off, and we're going to chamfer the ID and the OD. Now we're going to mount up the 1.5 inch arbor, expanding arbor by Breakheart Tools, and we're going to put a chamfer on the leading edge there. This is soft material, so modification is okay. If you're using an expanding arbor for work holding, a skim cut, once it's installed in the chuck, is the best way to ensure that your work pieces come out concentric. So that's what we're doing here. Just going to take a couple little light passes, skim passes, to true that arbor up to make sure that our work comes out the way we want it to. as we cut along making this cut, you'll see that nifty little relief groove in the back. The arbors come this way from Breakheart Tools. It's a very handy place to stop your cut. So it's a nice feature. So we mounted our workpiece up here on the arbor, and we are going to rough out with this the tool you see in the tool post right at the moment. So I'm going to switch to my tangential tool post. This thing cuts soft materials, brasses, bronzes, and plastics as good as anything I've ever used. It's a fantastic tool. Also added some cutting oil here. With the bushing done, we're going to get to work on the collar. This is the piece that's going to fit around the OD of the bushing. It's going to be welded to the handle mount, I guess you would call it. It's a piece of scrap DOM tube. Your scrap box is the most important thing in the shop sometimes. Had to adjust the workpiece in the chuck so this little stubby boring bar here could reach as far back as it needs to. So did that off camera. And this is just a simple little boring bar. Uses a TPG insert. I find it to be real handy. It's pretty much always in a tool holder. And you can get a lot of work done on this size machine with this size boring bar. Alright, don't know where that piece of video went, but as you can see, notice the bushing is still mounted to the arbor in case you got to modify it. You can see I got a nice, good sliding fit here on the bushing into the collar. So, there we go. Now we're going to turn the workpiece around in the chuck, and we are going to part off the extra length that was not bored out that you can see right in there. And just going to use a regular old high-speed steel parting tool and slice this baby right on off of here. So we've got the old Revette in second back gear. It'll go down to about 25 RPM, which is mighty handy. You can probably just see a mark right upside the chuck jaws as the part's spinning around where I want to part at. But while I was standing there, I couldn't see it. So I had to shut the machine, shut the spindle off, and line my parting tool up so that I could make the cut. We're just going to hand feed and liberally apply the cutting oil. All right, here's our collection of parts from this evening. We got the pivot with the 3/4 inch hole for the bending pin. This is I used a 751 gauge pin. So I'd say I did okay on that fit. Then you got the bushing. I believe this is 932 bronze. It's, just a great bushing material. You can buy this in round stock. Now you don't have to buy, this is what I thought I had saved a piece. So you can buy this in a bar that's round stock, that's not solid, save you a ton of money. Instead of buying, I could have bought a bushing of this size if I'd wanted to for probably $5 from MasterCard, but where's the fun in that? And then this is the outer collar that will hook up to the handle mount. Now, dimensionally, some of this stuff is different from the original plans provided by Tom Lipton on his blog, which I'll provide you a link, because like most people, I'm using stock that I have on hand. So in Tom's version, this is 3/4 inch stock. In my version, this is 1 inch stock because I had some 1 inch stock. This is made out of a piece of 2-inch Dom tube. It's got I believe that's a 2 3/4.
Now it's a 2 1/4 OD, and it's been bored out here, but 175 ID to match the bushing. So I'm just using parts that I have. In Tom's version, this collar was 1 inch long. Here it's 1 1/4 inch long. So at the end here, I'm going to provide a set of revised plans that'll be as-builts for the one that I used. Again, I had this set of this angle sitting around. It's bigger than the angle that was used in the original, but it still works, but I had to make some changes. The fence is longer and wider to suit the new piece of angle, but I'm going to document all these and make all of the SolidWorks drawings or DXF files available online to anybody that wants them. And so the next video, we'll cut the slots in the fence to match the holes in the table. We'll go ahead and weld the pivot on to the table like so, and do the machine work on this block here that's going to be the handle mount, and we'll keep going from there. At the end of the next video, we'll probably be functional. So I just remembered we got to put the holes in the bottom here for the end caps. So one more thing to do. Anyway, be safe in the shop, and I'll be back with you soon.